Hi everyone, Hannah Corbin here. I'm thrilled to be raising awareness for thyroid eye disease, or TED. This is an issue close to my heart. Since my diagnosis of Hashimoto's 5 years ago, I've learned that if you have a thyroid condition like me, you're at a higher risk for TED. With me today is someone who knows this struggle firsthand and how to prioritize oneself, three-time Olympic Gold Medalist, Gail Devers. Welcome, Gail. You have such an incredible story, and I know it resonates with so many people.
Thank you, Hannah. First of all, I'm excited to be here and to be able to share my journey. You know, for me, it started back in 1988, as right before my first Olympic Games. I was preparing to compete at my peak, and then suddenly my health took a turn. I went from, my hair was falling out, my skin was dry, and I was tired all the time. I went from running my career best to running slower than I'd ever run in my life.
So that must have been so challenging, especially while you were preparing for something as intense as the Olympics. How did you handle all of that?
Honestly, it was a really rough few years. I was going back and forth from doctor to doctor to doctor, only to be told, oh, there's nothing wrong, or maybe you're imagining this. And that wasn't the case. I knew my body, and I knew something wasn't right. And then finally, after 3 years, I was diagnosed with Graves' disease, and I was able to get my life back on track, or so I thought.
Right? Despite the diagnosis, there's so much more to the story.
Yes, exactly. Even after my Graves' disease diagnosis, I was still having eye symptoms. I had the bulging eyes, the red eyes, the tired eyes, the light sensitivity, and my eyes. All the eyes. All the eyes. Even when I slept, my eyes were so dry that they didn't close all the way. And during this time, no one ever mentioned to me that my eye symptoms were separate from my Graves' disease. And I didn't know that they needed to be treated separately by an oculoplastic surgeon or a neuro-ophthalmologist.
That's unbelievable. I relate to the long diagnosis so much. With my own Hashimoto's diagnosis, it took over 2 years to even start to get the answers that I needed. And it starts to take a huge toll on you mentally. It can feel really isolating. How did you deal with all of that mentally?
It was incredibly tough. I stopped going out. I wanted to black out the world. I covered up my mirrors. I wanted to catch up to the old Gail because I had lost her. And so, because it went on for so long, when I was finally diagnosed with thyroid eye disease, it actually, finally I got the answers, but it was a bittersweet moment because I wish I had known sooner.
I hear you. After learning about my own diagnosis, I've been paying close attention to my eyes. I even have a TED specialist in my care team now. So can you tell everyone a little bit more of your experience with that?
Absolutely. I've learned the importance of having a TED specialist like an oculoplastic surgeon or a neuro-ophthalmologist.
Say that 5 times fast.
Yeah, exactly. But they have the expertise in, taking care of the TED. I encourage those experiencing eye symptoms to make an appointment with a TED specialist to get the proper care, and to find that, visit focusonted.com.
Thanks so much for sharing that information, Gail. I prefer to experience my information from an Olympic gold medalist, so I'm really winning in this moment. But I have a saying that's treat your body like it belongs to someone you love, and I think it's just so important to listen to our bodies and to seek help. My experience with Hashimoto's and learning more about TED has encouraged me to share those signs and symptoms to others who may be at risk. Early detection can make such a big difference, as you know. What would you say to someone listening who might be feeling a little hesitant?
So overall, trust your gut. Be your own best advocate. If you've noticed something changes and you've been too busy, or you're playing it down, you're too busy to get it done, now is the time. What you need to do, if you notice any changes in your eyes, your appearance, you need to make an appointment with an eye specialist like a neuro-ophthalmologist or an oculoplastic surgeon. Because one thing that we do know is that life is going to throw challenges our way, but those challenges do not have to stop us in our tracks.
They don't have to define us.
They do not have to define us. They won't define us. That's why, for me, I always look past the hurdle and on to what comes next.
That was so beautifully said, Gail. I think that we need to flip the script from autoimmune to auto-amazing and refocus on all of the things that our body can do. So like you said, if you want to learn more about the risks, signs, and symptoms of TED or find a TED specialist near you, visit focusonted.com.